Okay, moving on to the next concepts of module 2 with respect to control statements. As a recap, I had told you about two selection statements, if else if and the switch statement, followed with example programs and assignment. So the agenda for today's class here is with respect to selection statements, put a brief or I can tell some of the points to be noted with respect to switch statement, followed with some example programs too. Then we will do with iteration statements, while and do while statements. Okay. Followed with examples and the assignment as usual. So with respect to switch statement, there are certain things that you have to note. Okay. So I have this program for you all, right? Can anybody just guess the output of this program, which I have just stated here? You can just see that I have placed the switch statement inside a for loop, wherein the expression is the value being fetched from the uh, for loop variable. Okay, can anybody give me the answer? You can unmute yourself and give me the answer. One person. Students, what's the
Ma'am,
answer?
it prints all the statements, ma'am. I value is equals to 0. I value is 1. I value is 2.
Then for I, so you can observe that the I ranges from 0 to where? 0 to what? Sorry.
4.
0
0
to
to
4.
4. So what is your first input of I for the switch here?
0.
0. So what is my output?
I value is 0.
0. Okay. Next. Next. See, when
I value is
I
1.
value
value
is
is 1.
0, it will reach the break statement. Remember, the break statement plays a very important role here. Whenever the compiler sees the break statement, it will come out of the switch and goes back to my for loop updation. Right? Very important there. Then I value is incremented to 1. So I now print what?
I value is 1.
I value is 1. Next again it will break out. It goes to the next updation of I where I becomes 2, and it will print I value is 2. Okay. Again break out and it goes. So you can observe that the next value of I is 3, and I don't have any case that matches the value of my expression 0, 1, 2. Only a cases I have. 3 doesn't, I mean, none of the cases matches to the value of I equals to 3. So which case will be executed? Which case will be executed?
Default.
Default. And I print a value greater than 2 and less than 5. My intention of this program here is you can place switch wherever you want, not a problem. But then you have to handle it in a right way. That's the one thing. Again, when I gets incremented, which was 3, now becomes 4. You can observe. So again, none of the cases matches the value of I equals to 4. Again, it will execute the default case I value greater than 2 and less than 5. Again, I gets incremented. Now I becomes 5, wherein the for loop terminates and you are done with your program. Okay. Now, when we saw that there was a break statement involved, in switch case, the break statement that we gave is optional. Optional in sense, you may or you may not give. Okay. So if I don't give a break statement after a particular code with respect to a case, what happens? What happens when you don't give that? Very simple. When I don't give a break statement, when I omit the break, the control of the program, that is, the execution will flow to the next case 2. Next case 2. That means, though I want to match one particular case, since I forgot to give the break, it will also execute the next case code block also, if I omit the break statement. Right? So this omission of my break statement, I can have multiple cases with one set of code to be executed. Multiple cases. Some cases are there. Say I have 10 cases. For all the 10 cases, I have one set of code. In that case, I can easily omit the break and write the code for it. Okay. This concept wherein if I omit the break, it will execute the next cases also, right? Is called as fall through. Remember, students, in some of the programming languages, fall through is not achieved. It will tell there is a error, but in Java, fall through is achieved. Fall through means the execution falls through each case until a break statement is encountered. Till it finds a break, it will execute all the cases, right? Or the end of the switch is reached. Okay, fall through is achieved in Java in switch case statement. So I have the small example here. Just an example. See, switch month. Month say the expression is leading to a value called as a 6. Can you observe this cases? Can you just see the cases? 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. There is no code blocks to it. But then you can see number of days is equal to 31 break. Right? You can just observe what I am trying to do here. If you can guess what I am trying to do, later you can tell me the aim. Next, case 4, 6, 9, 11. Number of days is equal to 30. Then break. Case 2. Check whether the year is a leap year. Then number of days is 29 and 28 respectively, if it is a leap year or not. So can you just tell me what am I trying to do here, students? What am I trying to find out using the switch case? What am I trying to find out, students? What am I trying to do? Students, what am I trying to do here?
If that month has 31 days, 30 days, or
Yes, I am just reading a number associated to a month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And I'm just trying to find out number of days. You can see 1 means January, 3 means March, 5 means May, July, August, October, December. Number of days is 31. So for all these cases, every time I need not have right number of days 31 break, number of days 31 break for case 3, case 5. Why should I write the same code again and again? Since I want this code to be executed commonly for all these 3 cases, I put this like this without the break statement. Are you understanding? So if month equals to 6, you can see the control will automatically jump to which case, students? Automatically jump to which case? Case 6. Yes or no? Do you all agree with me? If month equals to 6, where does it, which case it will jump to? Case 6. And you see that the code, there's nothing code there. Then it will jump to case 9 because there's no break statement. Then it will break to the next, move to the next case, case 11. Then from case 11, you can see number of days is equal to 30. Then it will encounter break. When it encounters a break, automatically it will be out of my switch case. And I will print the number of days, whatever is there. Are you understanding? Hope you are getting this. Suppose if the month is now 3, what will happen, students? Month is 3, what will happen? Where does it jump?
Case 3.
Case 3. From case 3, what it will do? Again jumps to case 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. It keeps on moving till it finds what statement, students? What it should find?
Break.
Break. Or it reaches the end of your switch case, whatever it is. Right? Keeps on. This is called as fall through. Remember? Fall through. So in your exams, they might ask you, explain how or explain the concept of fall through in switch case. So you should be able to do it. Okay? Very simple. If the break case is missed or it is omitted, the control will move to the next cases till it encounters a break or end of the switch. Okay? This is there allowed, but in some programming languages, it will not allow. You should compulsorily give compulsorily you should give break. Okay. I have a small program for you all. Just give me the output. What is the output? What is the output for this? Quickly. How many lines of output you will get? What are all the outputs? How many lines of output? Okay, what is the first line of output at least?
Nothing, ma'am.
Huh?
I
I
value is
Wrong.
less than
less
5.
than 5.
Less than 5. Why? Because I is now starting with 0, case 0. It moves to case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4 till it reaches a break. I value is less than 5. First statement. Next, again. Again. For what all values of I will get value less than 5? For what all values?
0 to 4.
0 to 4. So I will have statements wherein it will tell you I value is less than 5. So 5 times it will print this. Next what it will print? For I value
Default
6, 7, 6, 7 value of 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Case 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The value is less than 10.
Then 10. So this will be executed for I value, where I value is now moving from 5 to 9. So this has to be aligned. Anyways, it is a typed mistake. So this will be printed how many times again now? 5 times for I value of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see that it is I is less than or equal. Will also reach 10. So when it 10, what will be executed? What case will be executed when I is equal to 10?
default.
Default statement.
So this will be executed or printed once. So 11 statements will be printed. So you need not have to give such huge example. You can give your own examples. Okay, not a problem. But you should tell how does the fall through will happen. That's all. Okay. Next is about nested switch statements. As we have nested if, we can also have nested switch statements. That is a switch within a switch, where you have outer switch statement, inner switch statement, like that. Okay. So you might ask me, ma'am, where can I keep that inner switch? So inner switch will be part of the case of the outer switch. So inside a case, I can have another switch. That's all. Switch within a switch. You can have it inside the case. You can have a switch. Remember, the switch within a switch. It is not that you don't get the case. So inside some case, you have one switch. That is switch. Okay. So you can now see that when you have such kind of a switch statement, we tell it a nested switch statement. So just look at this example. Tell me what will happen in this case. Looking at this example, tell me what will happen in this case. You can see that switch count is the outer switch, switch target the inner switch, which is there inside the case 1 of which switch, outer or inner? Case 1 is corresponding to which switch? This is corresponding to which switch, students?
Outer.
Outer. And remember, you can also see in inner switch also there is a case. This and this are different or the same? Compiler will tell that they are different because this case 1 will be matched to the inner switch, that is to the value of target, whereas this will be matched to the value of count, right? So you can just observe here the case 1 statement in the inner switch, there won't be any conflict, does not conflict with the case 1 in the outer switch. There is no conflict involved, no problem. Okay, you can now see the count variable will be now compared with the list of cases at the outer level. That is outer level, this is case 1, case 2. This will be corresponding to the count. Whereas the target, whatever is there, it will be compared to the inner list of cases. Understanding? So it is not like within a switch there is a switch. No, within the switch, any of the cases you can have the switch statements. So there is no conflict involved. Inner switch is different, completely different from the outer switch. Okay. I have a small program here. Just tell me what it is trying to do. Okay. Tell me what is it trying to do, students. Let's look at this. It is asked in one of your exam paper, explain nested switch statements. So you should be able to do it properly. Okay. First of all, tell me how many switch state, is it a nested switch? Is it a nested switch, students? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is a nested switch. Right. The outer switch is corresponding to which entity? What is the checking switch? It is checking for what? The outer switch is corresponding to what now? It is checking for what? Students, what is it checking for? Could you analyze the program? Are you able to? You all there? I have to check that. Yes. Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me what is it doing for me? The outer switch is doing what? Checking for what? It's very clear.
Checks whether the students are eligible for scholarship or not.
Okay. Checking whether the students can receive the scholarship or not based on the year they are studying. Suppose say I am considering only 3 years, first year, second year, third year. So a student is eligible to get the scholarship only if he is in which year? As per my program. Which
Third.
year? Third. So I will do like this, right? So I will just do like this. Switch year. If at all he is in the first year, he is not eligible for scholar. First year students are not eligible. Second year, they are also not eligible. But when he comes to the third year, he is eligible provided do you get scholarship simply? Scholarships, I think some of the scholarships, they will ask for marks. So if he is in the third year, the criteria here is his mark should be his mark should be 80. 80. So we assume that his mark should be 80. Let us not give greater than equal to. If I give, then I should use if statement there. So I assume that if his marks is 80 only 80, okay, he is eligible for a scholarship. So what I'll do here is, in case 3, I'll add one more switch, which is corresponding to marks. Okay, simple example this is, right? If his marks is 50, okay, he is not eligible. If his marks is 80, he is eligible. Then break. See, this is with respect to the inner switch, right? And then this is your break statement for case 3. Default, if he enters any other year apart from 1 to 3, it will give me the valid, please enter the valid year. I think you have observed something in the inner switch. Just observe what is missing in the inner switch. What I have not written. What is missing? In the inner switch, I have not written something. What is that? Students. Students. What is missing in the inner switch? I have written cases. Have I written default?
No, ma'am.
So, default is also optional. If you want, you can write. Otherwise, you can skip. It is not mandatory. You need not have to write it. It's not mandatory or compulsory to be written. You can skip. If you don't want, you can skip. Right? So, this is a simple example for a switch statement. It is as good as telling, selecting a seat, your professional course seat in your CT counseling. Very simple. What is your outer statement? Outer switch statement is what? What will you select first? If you are selecting a seat for your BE course, what will you search first? What will you search first? Yeah. What is your outer switch statement corresponding to?
Year.
No. If you are selecting a seat, say you are in CT counseling, say you want to select a MTech seat. Okay, you are gone for a counseling. What will you check first? What will you select first if you are gone for a counseling? Yeah, MTech counseling you have gone. Will you simply sit or will you select something? What is your outer switch correspondent to? Very bad.
Year of graduation.
Year of graduation. Why are we bothered about year of graduation?
Scholarship.
Pardon me?
Scholarship.
No.
College.
My question is
Colleges.
yes. So before, or you can be still more particular. Still more particular. Say you want a seat only in Bangalore. Then what is your outer switch correspondent to? You will search only the city. You will give the city here. Switch will be your city. Case 1. Suppose for example, you have city named as 1 is Bangalore, 2 is Mysore, 3 is say Belgaum, 4 is say some other Gulbarga, something like that. So you will first select the city. Then suppose say case 1 is Bangalore. In the case 1, you will again write one switch statement, wherein this switch statement will be corresponding to what? The Bangalore will be corresponding to the colleges available in the city Bangalore. Again, you select some college in the Bangalore. Again, inside that case, again you will have to write a switch case. That is, suppose you are selecting, say you are selecting Ramaya College of Engineering. In Ramaya, what are all the courses available? Again, you will have to write different cases. Isn't it? So first you will have switch case. That's how the design is made. Switch, first it will take the input from the user, which city he wants. After city, it will take the college name. After the college name, you select, you have bullets. So you will select, say, Ramaya. If you select Ramaya, it will start all the, what is that? The courses available. Then you say you select computer science course I want. In that computer science, are the seats available? That it will display. So you can see how the flow moves using your switch case. Are you understanding? Hope you are getting it. Okay. So with this switch example, I want to convey three things there. Break statement is not mandatory. If you skip the break statement, you can have fall through achieved. That is, the control will flow to the next cases till it reaches a break statement. One thing. The second thing that you have to observe here is default is not mandatory. If you want, you can give, otherwise you can omit. The third case is, the third point you have to know it is, then we can have nested switch statements. Okay. So moving on to the iteration statements, as you all know, iteration statements are the statements that allows us to execute a block of code repeatedly till the condition is becoming false. I think you people know. Sometimes this iteration statement is also called as looping statements. So don't get confused. If they ask looping statements also, you should write the same thing. So we have while, do while, and for. So probably while and do while we'll see today. So as you know, the while statement will be executing a block of statements or a single statement. It is left to the user what he is writing repeatedly as long as the given condition is true. As long as the given condition is true, it will execute that statements repeatedly. And we also know that when the condition becomes false, control will be moving on to the next line of code immediately, which is followed after the while loop. That you all know. So I don't have to tell you that. And you also know that the condition that you are writing should be a Boolean expression. Okay, simple as if. So you cannot write any expression you want. So an expression that leads to a Boolean value. Okay. So as I told you, the while statement is also known as entry control looping statement, because controlling whether the code has to be executed is done by giving the condition at the entry point only, the beginning only, called as entry control looping statement. Followed with the syntax and the execution flow or the flow chart, it's like this. So while, Boolean expression. So instead of Boolean expression, you can also write what, students, here? While. What can you write? Students. What can you write here? Condition. You can write, no problem. I have written a Boolean expression. You can write condition also. Open brace, the set of statements, close brace, and the statement after your while. Whatever you want, you can write. And how does the flow go? You can see it is an entry controlled loop. Condition. Checks the condition. If it is true, it will execute the block of statements associated with it. Again, it jumps back to the condition. It is looping. You can see that symbol that I have written, loop. It keeps looping this. True, execute the block of statements, go back to the condition. Again true, keep doing this till the condition becomes false. Once it is false, it will come back to the control or the statement which is written after your while. Very simple. Yes? Okay. I have this example. Quickly tell me the output. Yes. Tell me the output for this. What does it print? And one more thing that I would like to tell you all. When you are writing while, make sure you have proper initialization proper updation. If you don't initialize, if you don't update properly, you may not get the expected output. That we will see in jump statements. Right now, I have initialized num equals to 1. The condition is checking whether num is less than or equal to 10, updating the num by plus plus. Okay? Tell me what does it print quickly.
1 to 10.
1 to 10 it will print, then
Statement after while.
Why? I have one question for you. How many times the condition is checked? How many times the condition is checked? Times. Throughout
11 times.
11 times. You can observe that if the condition is checked 11 times, wherein 10 times it is evaluated as what? It's evaluated as what?
True.
True.
The first 10 it will be evaluated to true, and the last one it will be evaluated to false. And you can also tell me how many times the block of statements is executed. How many times?
10 times.
10 times. So this is one of your question usually asked in your interviews too. What is the relationship between condition and block of statements? What is the relationship? Can you just observe? How many times the condition is checked? How many times the block of code is executed?
N times it is executed and n plus 1 it is.
One times it is checked. Very important. That relation you should know. Always the condition will be executed one larger than the number of times the code of the block is executed, especially with looping. Okay, so they sometimes ask, generally they'll give if the body of the loop is executed 9 times, how many times the condition will be checked? You should not sit and think, how can I know? It's logic. If it is executing 9 times main, the condition will be checked how many times?
10.
10 times, obviously, right? So that logic you have to know here. So you can observe that it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the statement after while. Fine. Now I will slightly ask you to modify. I don't want to print all the numbers from 1 to 10. I want to print only odd numbers. That is, I want to print 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. What changes will you do?
Num plus equal to 2.
Num plus equals to 2. Or you could have written num equals to num plus 2, right? Since you know compound assignment operators, you can do that. Okay. So that was your assignment question anyways. But then moving on to your do while statement. So as you all know, do while is like you going to a restaurant, okay, then ordering. It's something like that, menu driven applications basically. Suppose you go for your restaurant and you make your seating arrangements and all. Will the food come to the table automatically, or should you order? Should you order, or the food reaches you automatically? Students, go for a restaurant. Does the food reach your table, or you give your options to the person?
We give the options.
You give your options, what you want. Before giving options, what you will ask him? Will you just tell him, oh, give me this? Or what is the human nature? What will you ask him first?
Know what's available.
Yes, you will first ask him what's available in your restaurant. So he will give you either the menu, or he will only tell you the menu. And then the next process was what? You will tell him, okay, you give me this. Then next process is what? He will go and give the order to the particular blocks. Similarly, we have do while statement working, right? So working basically for menu driven programs. How it will work for menu driven programs, we'll see. First, we'll see the syntax. So while loop, as we all know, it will check for the condition of the loop at the beginning of the loop, as you all know. And you can also know that unless the condition is satisfied, that is it becoming true, the loop will not be executed. Never. If the condition for the first time is itself false, the loop will terminate. It will not execute. So that's there, isn't it? So if you want even to execute when if at all the condition is false for the first time only, you should make use of the do while loop. What is do while loop doing for me? You can see the do while loop is used in the case where we need to execute the loop at least once, even if the conditional expression is false to begin with. Some cases wherein I want my loop to execute at least once, whatever is the condition, I want at least once to be executed, I should use the do while while. Okay. So as you all know, since I want the body of the loop to be executed once, I cannot place the condition at the top. Rather, I should place the condition now at the below. That is end of the loop. Okay. Such that the loop body will be executed at least once, even if the condition is never true. That is, it is false. Okay. So you know the do while will execute again the statements repeatedly as long as the given condition is true. Right. So it is called as exit control looping statement as we have the condition at the end. Right. So we call it as exit control looping statement. So the syntax is like this: do, open brace, block of statements, write the block of statement, end the closing brace, then give the while with the condition. And also you can see here the while to be terminated with a semicolon. Very important. You should not miss this. If you miss this, you will get an error. That's simple, quite simple as it is, right? So you have to write the syntax in this way. And how it executes the flow chart you can see here. First, it will execute the block of statements. Then it will simply move to the condition. It will check the condition. If the condition is true, again it will execute the block of statements, comes to the condition. If the condition is false, it will go to the statement after the do while. Remember, if the condition is false for the very first time, this block of statements would have been executed once. Once it will be executed. Very simple there, right? Now, we have this example for us. What is the output here? What is the output? What do you feel the output is? Is it the same what we got? Yes? Is it the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Statement after do while. Is it the same? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is the same. Very simple. It's same. There's nothing there. Say I just change this to say I just change this to 21. What will happen? What is the output if I change num to 21? What output will I get? Students. What is the output if I change that to 21?
21 and
Statement
statements
after
after
do
do while.
Yes, it will print 21 and statement after the do while. Okay. Suppose the same program, if I had written using while, so I'll write this using while. So wherein this while will come here, then what would have been the output?
Statement after do while.
While. You could now see it did not enter the loop only because there's no possibility. The condition only is false at the first time. It will just come out of the loop. Okay. That makes the difference between while and do while there. Okay. As I told you, do while statements are used basically for writing menu driven programs wherein you ask the user to enter the menu, okay, and execute as per the menu, and the menu keeps on repeating. I should keep on repeating the menu. Okay, menu driven programs it is called as. Just look at the program which I'm displaying. I'm giving you only the partial code. I want you people to write the complete code for this. I'm having two variables A, B. Actually, variables also you have to add as per your requirement, area and the choice. And I have the scanner class object. I'm giving the menu first. Under the do, I'm first displaying the menu. I want it to be displayed. Then I will read the choice, do what I want. Isn't it? So enter 1 for circle, enter 2 for square, enter 3 for rectangle. 3 choices I have given. I'll read the choice from the user. Then after reading the choice, if the user enters 1, I will find area of the circle. That's what I'm doing. If he enters 2, square of the circle. 3, rectangle. Means for this circle, square, rectangle, I should appropriately read the inputs, find the area. Now, tell me what should I use here? The next line. For executing all these 3 tasks, what will I use? What selection statement will I use? Students. Based on my CH, I should compute area of circle, area of square, area of rectangle. So what will I choose? Which selection statement will I write? Students? Switch. So I'll write switch statement, switch of CH. How many cases will I write? How many cases?
3.
How many cases? How many cases? How many cases I have? 3. 3 options. Case 1 will compute the area of the circle. So I have not written the code. You should complete this. Case 2, the code. Case 3, the code. Default also I have given. Printing it is an error. That's all. Okay. I cannot do anything if you press 4, 5 and things. And then this is the end of the switch. Then I'll end the do statement, do while statement, sorry. And I want this to be repeated again and again. Again and again, I'll have to repeat this. Again and again, I have to repeat this. So what will I give in my while condition? What will I give in my while condition of do while? I want to repeat this menu again and again, students. What should I give in my while? I'll print the area also. What should I give in my while? What is the condition? While CH is greater than or equal to 1 and CH is less than or equal to 3. So I will repeat this again and again only when CH is between 1 and what, ma?
3.
If I give 4, will I execute this again? If I give
Yes,
4, will it print the menu for me?
Yes, ma'am.
If I give 4,
No, ma'am.
it will not come because CH is neither greater than or equal to 1 and CH is not less than or equal to 3. So it will not execute if I give the choice as 4. But first time it will print the menu. It will print the menu for the first time. Based on your choice, it will print the menu for the next times also. Okay. this is the end of your main and this is the end of the class function, class definition. Okay, so try filling up the codes here, finding the areas and all of the various geometrical figures and execute and see what happens. You can do that job. Yes. Thank you for the day. I think we have ended. Any questions you have, you can ask me. I'll share this in the Google Classroom. I want this assignment to be done, and 1 or 2 questions also I'll post for your assignment programs. Any doubts, students? You have any doubts? No doubts? Okay. How many times the loop of the body will be executed in do while if the condition is false at the beginning?
Once.
Once. Why it is once? Because it's a what kind of a loop? Because why is it executing once? For what reason? Simply,
It will execute the loop and then check for the condition.
yes, it is a exit controlled looping statement. That is, the condition is at the end of the block of the code to be executed. So once it will execute and then do that. Okay. Can I have nested switch statements in Java?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you understand by fall through? Students, fall through?
The cases will be executed until it finds a break statement or it goes out of the case.
Break a switch statement. So that is, fall through is achieved when you miss or when you omit the break statement in the cases. If you omit, it will move on to the next cases till it finds the break statement. Okay, right. Okay then. Okay, thank you, students. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can quit the meeting.